First tonight, a Nottinghamshire petrol station is only serving key workers so they don't run out of fuel. The owner of the garage says other customers are now being turned away. Elsewhere, though, some drivers are still joining long queues for petrol, but the government insists that the situation is now stabilising. Well, our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball is in Huthwaite. Good evening, Jeremy. So what's happening there?
Well, and they've decided to go out on a limb here, really. As you can see, the pumps are closed. They do still have some petrol here, though. It's all being saved for key workers. For the rest of us, well, finding fuel's been something of a lottery today. We found a fairly mixed picture, the length and breadth of the East Midlands. Just look at this. This is the huge Esso station at Clifton in Nottingham, closed this morning. We're told that yesterday's fuel delivery there sold out in just 6 hours. Elsewhere, we found some queues, a short one here in Ashby. Other petrol stations seem to be operating without too much trouble. What they're doing here, though, is pretty unusual. You can only buy fuel here if you can prove that you're a health worker or a carer or that you work for the emergency services. And the boss here told me why they're doing it.
Care home workers are very important because what's happening with these staff need to get there to look after them. Last night also incident because other customer was really aggressive towards my cashier. They are getting angry and they say, why are you giving to them and why are you not giving to us? They also try to say they are key workers, but I said they have to prove they got ID.
Key workers aren't being prioritised elsewhere. I mean, you said they've gone out on a limb, but why have they done it?
Well, Chris says it's partly because his own wife works for the NHS, but it was really prompted by an appeal from a local care firm who said that dozens of their staff were actually struggling to get fuel for home visits, and their boss told me that that was potentially putting their clients' lives at risk.
People, if they don't receive visits, will go without the sort of essential care, the personal care, the medication that they need to take. Vulnerable people lives are at risk, and we need to highlight the fact that we need to get to those people.
Now, in the last hour, I've spoken to one carer who was filling up here, who said what they've decided to do here has made a huge difference as far as she's concerned. No plans, though, at this stage to do something similar, prioritising key workers nationally. Instead, the government's trying to get fuel to petrol stations more quickly. To do that, today it's announced a reserve fleet to tackle that shortage of fuel tanker drivers, and it's also putting the army on standby. It says, though, and the situation at petrol pumps is starting to improve.